Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Ridge is perplexed by Steffy's new hope-based attitude. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, when Steffy Forrester chooses to put her differences with Hope Logan behind her, Ridge Forrester will be totally perplexed. Following Liam Spencer's, Scott Clifton, conversation with John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, will Steffy even go so far as to restart Hope for the future and rehire Hope? Hope Logan was wanted by Steffy Forrester. Steffy booted Hope as soon as the Forresters regained control of Forrester Creations. But now that they have kids, Steffy and Hope have reconciled. Even though Steffy isn't allowed to inform anyone, she still tells Hope and Rebecca Budig's character Taylor Hayes that Liam is dying. Hope has been assured by Steffy that they will overcome this together as a family. Steffy understands that reviving the close line will help her keep busy during this trying period. Additionally, Hope is committed to supporting Liam, something Steffy is unable to do on her own. But Ridge has absolutely no idea why she has changed. I'm hoping Logan will forgive Ridge Forrester. Several times, Hope has been informed that she must apologize to Ridge for her relationship with Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. According to spoilers, Hope will apologize to Ridge and perhaps even speak with Carter at this point. Will Hope explain the situation to Carter and request that he wait for her? Before Hope can explain, has Carter already had sex with Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire? It seemed to Ridge that Hope had been taking advantage of Carter all along. He's shocked that Hope and Steffy can now communicate again. Ridge is utterly perplexed by Steffy and Hope's reunion as family. How long will Hope and Steffy's newfound peace last? Will it go on once Liam leaves? Liam Spencer desires a close relationship with his girls. Even if he isn't there, Liam wants his girls to be able to grow up together. Liam has persuaded Finn to assist in mediating a ceasefire between Steffy and Hope. Steffy is prepared to give this battle a shot right now. Fans are aware, though, that Steffy can suddenly change her mind if she thinks Hope is being disrespectful to Finn. Naturally, Hope isn't worried about him right now. Will Steffy agree to collaborate with Hope at Forrester and rehire her? Will Steffy and Hope be able to support their children during this trying time? Before one of them blows it up again, how long will this unexpected truce last? What will ultimately happen to Liam? Will he live, or will Liam's reunion with Hope and Steffy be his final heroic deed? Will HFTF reappear after Steffy rehires Hope at Forrester Creations? According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester will likely bring back the Hope for the Future line by rehiring Hope Logan at Forrester Creations. The opposing fashion powers are at peace after their surprising reunion, which was brought on by Liam Spencer's fatal sickness. Terminal diagnosis gives Forrester Creations unpredictable peace. With the HFTF resurrection imminent, tragedy unites resentful enemies as Hope returns to Forrester. Steffy Forrester is going to make amends with her longtime adversary Hope Logan by offering her former position at Forrester Creations in a startling change of events that no one anticipated. This startling turn of events occurs as both ladies deal with the heartbreaking news of Liam Spencer's fatal illness, demonstrating that even the most vehement adversaries may occasionally be brought together by life's most trying circumstances. The illness that made all the difference. Both families have been rocked by the news of Liam's incurable brain tumor. According to sources, Steffy first betrayed Liam by disclosing his illness to Hope. In a strange turn of events, this betrayal actually helped the two ladies discover common ground after years of savage animosity. An insider with knowledge of the matter disclosed, it appears that the olive branch might be extended even further as Steffy considers bringing Hope back to Forrester Creations after Steffy and Hope shared a moment while coping with the news that Liam is dying. There is nothing more spectacular in the timing. Hope was abruptly fired a few months earlier for aiding Carter Walton in his attempt to take over the business, which Steffy considered to be the height of treachery. Now that Liam's death is looming over everyone, trivial business conflicts appear pointless in contrast. From the ashes, HFTF arises. According to fashion insiders, Hope's comeback would most likely result in the resuscitation of her signature collection, Hope for the Future. Hope's identity at Forrester has been anchored on the ethical fashion brand, thus its disappearance created a noticeable void in the company's offerings. According to our source, HFTF represented Hope's values and vision. Its return would be a potent symbol of reconciliation within Forrester Creations, in addition to being a professional victory for her. According to reports, Ridge Forrester is confounded by Steffy's abrupt turnaround regarding Hope, but the co-CEO seems intent on moving on from the past. Excuses from both parties. We're hearing that Hope will probably issue an apology for her part in Carter's failed coup as part of this surprise peace accord. Hope urged Carter to submit LLC paperwork that would have granted him control of the renowned fashion brand during the dramatic takeover scenario that unfolded earlier this year. But Hope isn't the only person Steffy expects to eat humble pie. Even seasoned Forrester staff members have been taken aback by Steffy's potential to own up to her faults, including persuading Eric and Ridge to break their agreement with Carter. Is it possible that we will witness a Steffy who is prepared to acknowledge her mistakes? It would be the first time. Implications for everyone else. This reconciliation will have repercussions across the Forrester orbit. If there is less stress at work, Carter, who is currently seeking solace in Daphne Rose's arms, might find it simpler to let go of his affections for Hope. In the meantime, unexpected partnerships are still being brought about by the emotional burden of Liam's diagnosis. Regarding Steffy and Hope's future connection, Finn is said to have promised Liam that he will do everything in his power to keep the peace between Liam's daughter's mothers even after he leaves. Will Steffy and Hope's newfound unity endure past the current crisis? That is the crucial question. These two had previously set aside their disagreements only to have their long-standing rivalries rekindled at the first sign of conflict. This time, though, something feels different. It's possible that confronting mortality, even that of another person, helps put things into perspective. There is no doubt that a new chapter in the Steffy Hope story is set to unfold in the corridors of Forrester Creations. Additionally, it might not entail putting one another under the fashion bus for once. Katie's wisdom, Daphne's redirection, and Hope's truth bomb. Here are the spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans can anticipate Hope Logan, Annika Noel, shocking Carter Walton between May 19th and May 30th, 2025. The course of Daphne Rose's career changes. In addition, Ridge Forrester receives wise counsel from Katie Logan. Continue reading, and let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap drama The Truth Bomb by Hope Logan. First, let's talk about Hope, who suggested that Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, and her should be together. Carter clearly misheard and drew the incorrect inference. Daphne will discover a gap in Carter's heart there. Hope may jump in and take back her man, but Daphne might discover a gap. Hope goes to Carter at the start of the week. The COO will likely be rather irate and inform Hope that he heard her talk to Liam. Hope may have to inform Carter of Liam's impending death. Carter might find himself in a romantic triangle, but it might also result in Harder getting back together. Rose Daphne's redirection. Daphne will receive a career reorientation. Daphne is currently creating scent designs. Daphne will be pressured to launch a new brand by Zend Forrester Dominguez, Delon de Metz, Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. Therefore, whether or not Daphne gets Carter, this might keep her on the canvas. May 19th, 2025, week. Fans will also witness the reconciliation of Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood. Hope seems to have been asked to return to Forrester Creations. But Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., is dubious of Steffy's logic. Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, get into a furious argument. In the meantime, Katie offers Ridge some sage counsel regarding his love circumstances. Grace Buckingham delivers some disheartening news to Liam. Spoilers for the next 2 weeks of The Bold and the Beautiful. It is probable that Liam's symptoms may worsen during the week of May 26th. Liam has already acknowledged that he has lightheadedness a couple times every day. Liam may therefore have to accept the possibility that his demise may occur considerably sooner than he anticipates. Steffy's decision to prevent Luna Nozawa from pursuing her romance with John Finn Finnegan will continue to infuriate her. Sheila Carter Sharp may come to regret her pledge to do whatever it took for her granddaughter. In addition to Luna reverting to her previous behavior, Deacon Sharp will lose it when he finds out Sheila's secret. What is the plot that you are most excited to see? Luna, the troublemaker, said goodbye to Liam in a painful way. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful for the upcoming 3 weeks, from May 19th to June 6th, troublemaker Luna Nozawa is planning while Liam Spencer's heartbreaking farewell looms. Let's review all the significant events that are approaching, since Carter Walton's bubble will likewise be in danger of popping. Since standing together for Liam is what matters most, Steffy Forrester and Hope Logan will put a stop to their conflict during the week of May 19th to 23rd. Following some terrible medical updates from Dr. Grace Buckingham, Liam will require all the help he can get. Liam will likely discover that his tumor is growing rapidly. Carter might hook up with Daphne Rose and later regret it once she makes the move. Eventually, Hope will convince Carter of her love and suggest a reunion. Carter will discover he was missing some important pieces of the jigsaw once Hope tells him about her return to Forrester and possibly explains Liam's grave illness. Ridge Forrester will question Steffy in depth at Forrester Creations after she decides to bring Hope back to the business. In addition, look for Katie Logan, Heather Tom, to offer Ridge some advice about his romantic future. After being dumped by Carter, Daphne may be tempted to leave town, but Electra Forrester, Will Spencer, and Zend Forrester Dominguez will argue that she should stay to launch a new line. According to other B&B spoilers, Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan will argue. As usual, Brooke and Taylor will primarily argue about Ridge, but they will have an opportunity to recap what happened at the fashion show. Brooke will pout since Ridge picked Taylor over her, but Hope's series of surprises will make her feel better. Brooke will undoubtedly be delighted by Hope's Forrester return and her choice to reunite with Carter. Will Hope acknowledge that Liam is dying, since Brooke will wonder what caused these significant life changes? Hope might be able to tell Brooke the terrible truth if she could rely on her mother at this time. The painful reality of Liam's expanding brain tumor will be revealed over the week of May 26th to 30th. Liam is unable to escape his fate in the absence of effective treatment plans. When it comes to funeral planning and any changes to his will, Liam might want to make sure everything is in order. If Liam approaches Steffy and Hope with some final requests, it will be devastating. Carter can become anxious about whether Daphne will say nothing about their intense encounter. Even though Hope and Carter were officially on vacation, she wouldn't like to find out that he had slept with Daphne right before their reunion. Luna's increasing contempt for Steffy may possibly be causing Sheila Sharp to face a problem or two. Luna will undoubtedly have some tricks up her sleeve because she is a cunning person at heart. There will inevitably be issues because of that and the secret Sheila is holding from Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, regarding her relationship with Luna. Liam might be on the verge of passing away over the week of June 2nd to 6th. Given how swiftly this plot appears to be developing, Liam's symptoms will undoubtedly worsen. There are excellent reasons to believe that B&B is indeed making a deadly exit this time, despite the fact that many people are hoping for a last-minute rescue. Since Liam appears to be a goner, it's best to be ready for that possibility. As the plot develops, Liam will have to figure out how to bid Hope, Steffy, Beth Spencer, and Kelly Spencer farewell. Maybe she could take advantage of an opportunity back with Luna. Luna might try to reassure Will if he learns of Liam's situation, possibly even in bed if Will is feeling weak enough. In any event, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that the upcoming 3 weeks will have some incredible occurrences, so check in for all the shocking information. Few romantic relationships on The Bold and the Beautiful have taken viewers by surprise more than Hope Logan and Carter Walton's surprisingly strong bond. At least for some viewers, what started off as an emotional recovery amid one of Hope's several separations from Liam Spencer has progressively transformed into something that resembles genuine fondness, if not actual love. But is it just a gorgeously filmed side trip in Hope's convoluted romantic odyssey, or is it the best love story B&B has ever told? Examining Hope's emotional demands, Carter's enduring dedication, and the subtle chemistry that simmers just beneath the surface each time they share the screen are necessary to answer that. Because of betrayals, infants, and Steffy's seemingly permanent position in their love triangle, Hope has spent a significant portion of her adult life attached to Liam. Even the most patient fan has grown weary of Liam's indecisiveness. Furthermore, despite his unquestionably deep bond with Hope, his own shortcomings and emotional carelessness frequently put it to the test. Here comes Carter Walton, trustworthy, devoted, and, often painfully so, principled. He is the type of person that prefers to be picked rather than contested. It was almost poetic when Hope, emotionally spent and in need of stability, found comfort in Carter's arms after Quinn broke his heart and Katie stung it again. Their bond was anchoring rather than explosive. It began with mutual understanding and the silent sorrow of constantly being someone else's second choice, not with lust. Carter was someone's first choice for once, and Hope gave herself permission to imagine a life free from heartbreak. Their coupling defies conventional B&B dynamics, which is what makes it so intriguing. Hope and Carter's time together is characterized by emotional clarity rather than confusion or secrecy. They pay attention to one another. They honor one another's suffering. Carter regarded Hope as a woman standing alone, deserving of love on her own terms, rather than as a member of a triangle. Given the show's decades-long fixation on love competition, that is unusual. In turn, Hope viewed Carter as a man who could provide her with peace, something she hadn't experienced with Liam in years, rather than just as a friend or someone to confide in. Don't shout. Not a surprise. Only the possibility of love based on respect for one another. Even if it hasn't had the typical dramatic beats, that is still a great love story in many aspects. Not everyone is sold, of course. The pair's detractors contend that their chemistry isn't strong enough to support a soap opera super couple. Where is the drama if there is no heritage family feuds, treachery, or history? But maybe that's the idea. Hope and Carter provide a more subdued story in a world where most loves end in disaster or turn into triangles. A healing one. About picking someone because they make you feel your best self, not because you're scared of being by yourself. It might not be ostentatious, but it is genuine. Fans witnessed something they hardly ever see on B&B, a woman who might finally be choosing a man for herself, not to win a battle or to mend a legacy, when Hope touched Carter's hand, when her eyes softened at his declarations, and when she leaned into his kiss out of choice rather than desperation. What about Carter? A love story that doesn't end in rejection or betrayal is long overdue for him. His romantic life has frequently made him the quintessential almost. Nearly wed. Nearly unconditionally adored. He finds someone who understands in Hope. Who has experienced disappointment yet maintains faith in love. Someone who understands what it's like to constantly be torn between options that someone else has chosen for her. Such a connection is strong. It's debatable if this is the best love story B&B has ever told, but it's unquestionably the most surprising and, in many respects, the most emotionally charged. Should they reconcile, then? Why not might be a better question. If anything, Liam's recovery story and death scare demonstrate how fleeting life is in Los Angeles. Love the people who love you. In their own unique ways, Carter and Hope may be the solace for one another. Fans of Bold and the Beautiful are devastated by the emotional upheaval surrounding Liam Spencer's fatal brain tumor diagnosis, and now there will be a devastating new twist. Liam, who has loved and hurt Hope Logan for years, is getting ready to make one last request of her as he confronts his mortality. But even if it contradicts her own happiness, should Hope grant his final request? Her identity, relationships, and destiny could all be reshaped by this conundrum. After disclosing the heartbreaking truth about Liam Spencer's illness, Hope Logan finds herself at a crossroads between sadness, loyalty, and unexpected emotional support as she turns to Carter Walton. Hope can no longer handle the emotional burden of the news on her own, and in a moment that reveals her strength and vulnerability, she turns to Carter instead of her family, the Forresters, or even her cautious mother Brooke. What started off as a friendly business relationship in the corridors of Forrester Creations has subtly developed into a haven for Hope, and during these tumultuous times, Carter becomes more than simply a buddy. As her entire life starts to fall apart, he becomes the only steady hand she needs to hold. It is a profound act of trust to inform someone that your child's father, someone you have loved and hated equally, who has been the sunshine and storm of your life, may not live for a few weeks. And Hope, who has been suppressing her feelings for days, at last lets them out under Carter's sympathetic, attentive eyes. With difficulty, the words escape. The physicians have done everything they can to treat Liam's deadly brain tumor. Carter's quiet is strong, deliberate, and tinged with worry rather than awkward or unsure. By listening, he grants Hope what she has been longing for, the capacity to be seen without having to justify herself or to cry without needing to be strong. Hope's confession goes beyond simply disclosing Liam's medical information. It also reveals her emotional turmoil and sense of being lost in an unexpected storm. With the dignity and quiet fortitude of a man who understands grief, Carter takes in everything she tells him, including the hospital stays, the tests, and the hushed farewells she never imagined she would have to say. There isn't any bias, no hidden agenda, and no attempt to take advantage of the situation for one's own benefit. Rather, Carter provides Hope with a level of security she was unaware she required. He doesn't remind her that Liam would want her to continue or advise her to be strong for Beth. Instead, he only states, "It's okay not to be okay." And that straightforward statement, which is frequently dismissed as a cliché, is what ultimately shatters Hope. She weeps, but not the graceful single tear of soap opera legend, but rather the kind of crying that comes from a deeper place and has been suppressed for far too long. Carter remains still. He becomes a silent stabilizing force in her emotional freefall by being at her side, both physically and emotionally. Carter gradually transforms into a kind presence in Hope's grieving environment in the days that follow. He takes up Beth's after-school pickup on the days when Liam's decline becomes too hard to bear alone, provides coffee without asking, and offers transportation to the hospital when Hope is too exhausted to drive. Though it is, in many respects, more powerful, this is not the epic romance of previous seasons, with passionate pronouncements or kisses in the rain. It is the manifestation of mature, patient, and genuinely caring love. Hope starts to see that Carter has a deeper understanding of her than Liam ever had. Carter sees the full woman, warts and all, and yet chooses to be with her, whereas Liam adored the notion of Hope, the moral compass, the everlasting optimist. That insight both reassures and frightens her. Hope finds herself confiding in Carter more than anyone else as Liam's condition deteriorates and his lucid moments get increasingly rare. She expresses her worries about being honest with Beth, about seeing Liam deteriorate, and about what will happen, if anything, after Liam is gone. Carter listens to her and gives her understanding rather than answers. Others start to take note in the meantime. The regularity of Carter's presence causes Brooke to raise an eyebrow. Ridge gives out a fatherly, protecting stare. However, they both agree that Hope appears to be a bit more collected and grounded, at least on the days when Carter is around. Even Steffy, who is consumed by her own feelings of guilt and sadness over Liam, admits in private that Carter has stabilized Hope in ways that few others have. It becomes evident that Carter is merely creating room for Hope in her pain rather than trying to fit himself into it. And that area is made sacred. The depth of their developing bond is encapsulated in a scene at the hospital as Hope sits peacefully beside Liam's bed and watches him sleep, her face marked with an indescribable agony. Carter quietly shows up at the door with a packet of Kleenex in one hand and a cup of hot tea in the other. He doesn't talk over you. He just sits next to her. There is no envy in Liam's eyes when he wakes up for a moment and sees them together. Instead, he seems to grasp quietly that Hope can rely on Carter in the event that Liam is unable to support her any longer. Nothing about this is easy, though. Hope is guilty. She felt guilty for relying on another guy while Liam was still alive and for taking solace in someone else's embrace when she should have been managing this as Liam's spouse. One night, she confesses, her voice trembling, "I don't know who I'm supposed to be right now." Ever patient, Carter responds, "You're someone who's trying to survive." That's sufficient. Something between them shifts at that precise instant. It increases emotional intimacy rather than physical intimacy, which is frequently riskier in the realm of soap opera romance. As spectators, we start to question whether this is grief or something else entirely. Is Carter turning into Hope's emotional support system, or could he be the starting point for a fresh start? In what may be one of the more sophisticated and nuanced plot arcs of The Bold and the Beautiful in recent memory, the intricacy of it all develops exquisitely and gradually. Keeping someone grounded when the ground gives way is more important than sweeping them off their feet. Hope is not asked for anything by Carter. Not affection. Not assurances. No future. He just gives. And Hope's heart starts to change because of such selflessness. In her ideal future, there will be peaceful evenings, shared burdens, and the kind of camaraderie that doesn't require declarations to be felt, rather than chaos, triangles, and dramatic ultimatums. Hope finds herself depending on Carter once more when Liam's health worsens and it's time to say goodbye, not just for solace, but also for strength. He assists her in planning the things that should never be planned by a partner. Through final goodbyes, last rituals, and the eventual heartache of parting ways, he clutches her hand. And when it's over, when the room is silent and Liam has left, Hope falls into Carter's arms out of trust rather than desperation. Ultimately, this plot is about more than just Hope's loss or Liam's condition. It's about what we do when the person we've centered our lives on starts to wane and who takes over when that foundation starts to fall apart. Hope's choice to rely on Carter goes beyond simple emotional survival. It's evidence of the surprising bonds that may form when people experience similar grief. Carter Walton has unobtrusively become Hope's lifeline, regardless of whether their connection develops into a romantic one or stays a close-knit friendship. And that kind of relationship might be the most compelling tale of all in a society full of dramatic betrayals and high-stakes affairs.